A century ago, masks were controversial.
Yes, and for so many of the same reasons they are today.
Nancy Toms is a history professor at the State University of New York at Stony Brook. At its worst, in 1918, how bad did the pandemic get?
Really, really bad. You refer to it as the big one among historians of medicine.
675,000 Americans would die, nearly a third of them in a single month. The Red Cross spread the slogan, "Wear a mask, save your life," and nurses began to make them for the public.
We are looking at two masks, gauze masks, that were used in the 1918 pandemic here in California.
They're in the collection of the Oakland Museum. Erendina Delgadillo is associate curator.
They're pretty transparent, right? So it wasn't an ideal material, but it was definitely better than not wearing anything.
Back in 1918, this was one of the centers in the fight against the pandemic?
Yes, indeed. This was the Henry Street settlement, and its founder, Lillian Wall, played a critical role in organizing the pandemic response in New York City.
Masks were never officially mandated on the East Coast, Nancy Toms says, but other health rules were often aggressively enforced. There were spitting raids even, though, by police.
Oh, yes. There was a definite effort to up the ante in prosecuting, they called them sanitary infractions.
The U.S. outbreak had started on a Kansas Army base, and the campaign to stop it was tied to the war effort. So wearing a mask became a patriotic gesture.
Yes. And if you refused to wear a mask, you could be called a slacker.
What did that mean?
A slacker was not quite like a traitor, but it was someone who was dragging their patriotic feet.
San Francisco was the first city to actually mandate masks.
Yes, 10% of the population was infected between 1918 and 1919.
In just a day, the San Francisco Chronicle reported 100 people were charged with disturbing the peace for failing to wear masks. Their sentence, 10 days in prison or a $5 fine. About $80 today.
And then here in San Francisco, there was an anti-mask league that formed in early January. So the chairman was this woman named Mrs. E.C. Harrington. She was a suffragist. She was a lawyer. She put out a call in the San Francisco Chronicle asking for her fellow citizens who objected to this mask mandate, as really similar to the arguments now, actually.
They argued the ordinance was unconstitutional and that masks had not been proven effective. Some 2,000 people turned out for a rally at the Dreamland skate rink. Other cities would mandate masks, including Denver, Seattle, Oakland, Sacramento, and Phoenix. They were met with resistance, too. One major difference, it wasn't political then.
There was disagreement between the various politicians about which businesses should get closed down, but the decision to mask or not to mask never became identified with a specific political party.
Anthony Mason reporting. You're watching